Okay, guys, I said I was going to do a video about Gods Unchained, and here it is. Now, Gods Unchained is basically a card game, all right? It's a digital card game built on a blockchain. It's built on the Ethereum network, and they have their own cryptocurrency that goes by the name $gods, G-O-D-S. We talked about that a little bit in the last video. Now, the thing is that this game is pretty amazing in terms of just playability. There are thousands of deck combinations. There are several different gods or styles you can choose from. And basically, when you're looking at this, to start, it is one of those situations where there's a bit of a learning curve when you get into it. But that doesn't really matter too much because it doesn't hurt you to lose when you play. So actually, if you play ranked games and lose, you're still gaining points, which will be able to buy you decks, all right? And buy you packs of cards, rather. And so when you buy those packs of cards, by losing, again, this is all free. You don't have to spend a single penny to do this. You end up gaining more and more cards, better cards. And as you improve all of your core cards, which are just the basic free packs that you get by playing the game, then this goes on to the next level, right? And there's a whole other batch of cards. They have different cards that you can earn by weekend events they do, by airdrops, which we've talked about, and we'll continue to pay attention to as these events come and go during these early phases of this game. And the cool thing is this game's in an alpha state yet, meaning they're still balancing things, they're still figuring things out, which is pretty good. And so that's part of the whole early adoption thing that we talked about in the previous video here. But okay, so the good thing is that they do have their own cryptocurrency. It's backed by Ethereum, which is clearly one of the hottest cryptos out there. If you're going to pick a number two to Bitcoin, it's probably going to be Ethereum. It's the one people know most otherwise. But instead, you're playing a game. And again, just like I said previously, the more you play, the more you earn. And so in terms of packs, right, you get these cards and you build your decks and you win more. As you get better and you win more, you earn better cards, better packs. All right. And that's the way this whole damn thing works. It's a pretty simple concept. So you can even lose your way to better decks until you start to figure things out and then start to build better decks and win yourself and start getting better and better cards, you see? So you could literally climb to the top of the game through ingenuity and through persistence and not paying a single penny, all right? That's what's up with this game, and that's why it's pretty amazing in a number of facets, and it's backed by big money investors. The guys that built Magic the Gathering, at least one of them, is involved in this game. So this is not just some fly-by-night company. This is going to be a really big thing, and this is just the beginning of crypto gaming. All right, so then here we go. This is an article directly from their support, right? Is it really free to play? And well, the answer is yeah. The answer is actually yeah. So here's how this starts, right? All new players are given 70 individual cards that make up the welcome set for free. These are pre-built, editable decks that give players an idea of how the six gods differ from each other. Players are also given an allotment of core cards on top of this to start off with, which can be used to edit decks. But don't let these contain your playstyle, it continues. There are far more ways to play than these, and you can unlock packs and cards just by playing the game. Leveling up by winning or losing, that's the important part. You don't have to be good to gain NFTs, cards, and all the rest of this, including their airdrops and some other things, which again we'll do a whole nother video on. But this is pretty amazing, right? You can lose these games and still rank up and still gain free packs, all right? Ranked games will unlock card packs, allowing you to customize and expand your decks. So yeah, it's free to play. You can actually spend money and jump into these markets, which is pretty amazing if you look at some of the markets and how robust they are with some of the cards and whatnot. And you see they're cheap. There's some are super reasonable. Like over here, you have the barbed fly on the top left. That's 6 cents. Right, so if you have a particular card you need that you want to buy and you can't find it through packs, or it's grinding too much, or you've seen a particular deck style that you want to emulate or get close to, you can get these things for reasonably cheap. Now, the problem is right now, if you're putting money into this game and you're buying here, the Ethereum gas fees are still decently substantial. So it's difficult right now to, unless you're going to put in, you know, several $100s to start. But you don't have to. Don't worry. Again, I'm talking about investing in getting cards and kind of doing the shortcut style. They call it pay to win, but I don't think it's that at all, because these decks are still customizable in particular ways. The cool thing here is that it's not just about earning cards, of course. They have their own cryptocurrency called, again, $gods. And so with their airdrops and their special events, what you can do is earn these things for free. And, well, again, they want you to play the game, all right? And so in the current state, they're giving away a lot of their equity on their God's coin to players that are going to help boost the playability and the testing of this game, right? Again, it's still in an alpha state, etc., so on. So anyway, get in here. If you're interested in gaming and you want to spend your time more wisely than buying skins or earning skins off of pretty much any other game out there that's not built on a blockchain or crypto, you should do this. You should get in and play this, especially if you like Hearthstone, especially if you like Magic the Gathering. This is a game that's like right in line with a lot of those same core fundamental card game concepts. So I think you'll dig it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And like I said, I'm probably making, I did the rough math, it's probably around 35 to 50 bucks per week, just grinding their 60 games. And games can be fast. They don't have to be super long. Some games go a little bit longer, but you can finish a game in less than 10 minutes most times. So that's what's going on with this, all right? Now, pretty cool. Again, they have this incredible library of things you can buy, the cards that other players are selling. So there's a huge economy happening already with players selling cards. When you get a core card, which is like the basic starter card, you can't just sell it immediately. You have to mint it with their, it's called, something called Flux. So this is an entirely other thing that we'll get into later and do a whole nother video on how you mint the cards so you can sell them. So if you have two of the same card, you mint it with Flux, and then you can sell it then. So basically, it's to prevent people from firing up an account, a brand new account, getting all those free cards, and then just selling them off, right? So they make you earn at least a second card and some play time to mint it, so that you could then sell it after that. You know, not a terrible idea, because you're going to get, anytime there's something like this that can be easily scammed, people are going to easily try and scam the money from it. Now, the crazy part is this, and this is what's amazing about these crypto games, right? So think in terms of like old school games like Call of Duty or something, right? I keep picking on Call of Duty because I played it recently. And so, for instance, let's say Warzone, right? A lot of people play Warzone. They get these skins in Warzone for their vehicles or for their weapons or this, that, the other thing, right? And so in that vein, those skins and things that you spend all that time grinding to get, kind of the vanity digital stuff, you don't get to keep. It's actually leased, all right? Here, this is straight from the Gods Unchained support again, and they say this, and this is an important part, right? So actually, it goes like this. What does true ownership mean? Don't I own items in other games? And this is the important part here. Technically, you don't. Traditionally, items in games are owned outright by the companies that create them. When you buy in-game items like a favorite skin for your character or a card for your deck, you don't own it. The game company licenses it to you. Meaning that if something happens to your game account, you lose everything, all right? We all know that, but it gets deeper here. By using the power of the Ethereum network, Gods Unchained is changing the old practice to give players real ownership over the items they purchase or earn in games. This gives you the right to sell an item for Ethereum, or use it in the game itself, Gods Unchained, or even take it into a different game. Basically, how you use it is completely up to you, and owning assets are your responsibility, and a wallet managed by you as opposed to a company. Best of all, it says, the game developer, in this case us, which would be Gods Unchained, of course, can't change the value or power of that item to nerf you out of existence. So basically, they go through, when they release a new set of cards, they'll go through a balancing process, and after that balancing process is done, it's locked. And so this is, again, goes back to what I was talking about in the previous video, that these NFTs get retired when the new set comes out, right? So at some point, the older cards just are not going to be available any longer. And you see what a nightmare and how complicated this would be to balance in the long term. But the point of this is that that stuff, right, that's on them. That's rocket science for them to figure out. For us to figure out is how do we play this game, not spend a ton of money, but end up kind of just setting up our bottom line here, getting paid to play games. Isn't that the dream? Doesn't everybody want to do that? I think so. At least gamers, of course, not random people that don't like games. That makes no sense. But you get the point, right? So if you actually can own these items yourself, I talked about it previously in the other video, just a little bit, but it becomes sort of like digital real estate. All right, these NFTs are these cards built into the game, and so they become your assets. And so once they're your assets, you can do whatever the hell you want with them. And I think it's interesting to note that since this is in its infancy, we don't even know where this is going to go. So for instance, let's say Warzone in 5 years dies, or whatever. Let's say it even lasts that long. Let's say it just dies off because people stop playing it, because it's crappy and people are cheating and all the rest of that, right? But let's say this instead, that this instance is, let's say Gods Unchained becomes so gigantic and unwieldy that they can't balance it and they have to retire the game itself. It doesn't change anything because you still own the cards. So let's say they kind of reiterate Gods 2.0. And this is just speculating way down the line here. I don't know how this is going to play out. Nobody does. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't ever take any of this that way. But the thing is this, right? If they do something like that, they may allow you to move your NFT cards from the old Gods game to the new Gods game, or who knows. And that's part of why this is pretty amazing, is we don't know what this even looks like yet. If you can start doing stuff like that before any of this really happens and setting up that digital real estate like I keep talking about, you may as well. Again, if you're grinding some crummy game that's going to take away all the things from you once they turn the servers off, you didn't gain anything, right? I mean, you had some fun, but you didn't gain anything monetarily speaking. So why would you waste your time when you could have fun doing something else and also make money? So that's what Gods Unchained is. That's what it's all about. And again, don't take my word for it. Go play it. Go check it out. There's no affiliate links here or anything like that. I'm not trying to get anybody to click a thing and give me some extra tokens or nothing like that. Just go play. I'm worried about gamers not getting the best bang for their buck time-wise.